That strange boundary line. Photons create electron-positron pairs that annihilate back to photons. There are no answers in this article, just questions, but sometimes asking the right questions leads to discoveries. The drawing shows an electron and positron on the left side of the boundary line and photons on the right side. Here are some questions about that boundary line. First, we know that two photons can create an electron and positron, or an anti-electron, pair in pair conversion. This is a case of energy making matter. Next, we know that an electron and positron can annihilate to all energy, and in doing so, create two photons. We also know photons are energy that's outside space and time, and electrons and positrons are matter that are inside space and time. Here's where it gets very, very strange and questions arise. The electron and positron are mirror waves of each other. They annihilate in a process called destructive interference. That annihilation converts all the matter of the electron and positron into energy, or two photons. But when that happens, the matter crosses the boundary and becomes photons. Look at that boundary line. On one side is time. On the other, there is no time. On one side there's matter. On the other side, only energy. On one side there's space. On the other side there's no space. On one side, matter cannot reach the speed of light. On the other side, energy can only go the speed of light. Let's put that another way. When the matter annihilates, it crosses that boundary and leaves time behind, leaves space behind, and instantaneously goes the speed of light. That's some strange boundary line. So at what point does all this change happen? How can matter do that? Further, how can the photons or energy do that in reverse when photons create matter? Someone could say the boundary line is a moment in time when the matter transitions, but there is no time on the other side. Then in reverse, how can photons outside of space and time create matter in space-time? We also know that matter cannot go the speed of light, because to do so would require an infinite amount of energy. But when an electron and positron that are matter annihilate, somehow the mass that's turned to energy has crossed that boundary line. How do two quantum particles, the electron and positron, go beyond an infinite amount of energy barrier to get to photons? How can matter cross that boundary? How can matter leave time? How can photons create space-time matter when photons are outside of space and time? When in this process do the particles cross that boundary, if only one side has time? How can two quantum particles go beyond the infinite amount of energy barrier that's needed to go the speed of light? How can this imaginary boundary line separate time from no time, space from no space, under the speed of light from the speed of light, matter from energy? How can this boundary line be everywhere a positron and electron annihilate? That's enough questions. Thanks for reading.